You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters, with thanks to Wexford Insurances. Wexford Insurances. More information at wexfordinsurance.com.
I'm joined now by the Managing Director of a well-known Wexford-based company that started back in the middle of a recession in 1984. Good morning, Anne O'Brien from Kent Stainless.
Good morning, Karl, and thank you very much for showing an interest in Kent Stainless.
And for those of our listeners that wouldn't be familiar with Kent, can you give me some history behind the company, please?
Kent was started by Pat Kent in 1984 in a recession time out of a redundancy situation. And the company started with one or two people and grew from there. The company started off as a general engineering shop with no great future in that, and started to specialise in stainless steel and grew every year at a rate of 15%. So every 5 years it was doubling in size. Pat would have seen that the potential was going to be in stainless steel and started to specialise in drainage products in the late 80s and into the 90s.
And who were his clients at the time?
His clients were pharmaceutical companies primarily, along with food and beverage companies. As we know, the hub for pharmaceutical companies in Europe was in Cork, which couldn't have been better situated for us. So that's where we targeted those companies that were starting small again and developing and growing. So our products were perfectly aligned and suited for the pharmaceutical industry.
And how did Pat secure that work through the pharmaceuticals?
With the help of Enterprise Ireland at the time, we would have researched and developed a broad range of drainage products. So it was our quality of our products and our range that would have secured that work for us. It was also our flexibility and our technical capability. Pat was huge and still is today on plant and equipment, and constantly updating our technologies. Taking on apprentices and training people here has been the backbone of the company also. So they were our strengths going into that market.
How important is it for the company to have certification from a quality assurance perspective?
Yeah, in the mid-90s we went for ISO 9000 and we achieved it. That was necessary. It was necessary for us to become successful in bidding and tendering for jobs. It's continued to be so. I mean, we've 17 years. We are now certified to ISO. We would not be able to run this company without it. It's a necessary tool for us, and it sits quite well with us. We like having ISO, and we're very proud to have it. Then we went for the ISO 14000, which is the environmental certification, and we achieved that 2 or 3 years ago. And as I'm talking to you today, Karl, we're going for the ISO 18000, and these are necessary. You know, when you get in large tenders, you've got to tick a lot of boxes. Having these certifications mean we tick one box and move on. And it makes life a lot easier, and it also makes the company run a lot smoother to have these qualifications and certifications.
Would not having ISO prevent you from tendering for a lot of the contracts internationally?
Yes, it would. It's not always about the price. You've got to meet certain requirements around quality, environmental and health and safety before they'll ever look at the price that you're tendering for a job. So yes, these are necessary.
I know that in 2002 you acquired another company called Solids Technology.
Yeah, Solids Technology, it's a company that was based in Dublin, in Sandyford in Dublin, manufacturing machines and equipment for the treatment of wastewater. We acquired this company in 2002 and successfully moved it to Wexford in 2003, and a lot of the people moved with it, and Jerry Lowry is the head of operations for Solids Technology, and he moved to Wexford with the operation. So Solids Technology is, as I said, we manufacture machines for the treatment of wastewater. We've got over 600 installations worldwide in about 15 countries, and if you stuck a pin in the map of Ireland, you're never more than 15 or 20 miles away from one of these machines. So it opened up a lot of markets for us in South Africa, Holland, Germany, UK, and it complemented what we'd done because we had our range of drainage products. That's what the environment that we were in. And Solids Technology complemented what we've done, and Kent Stainless complements Solids Technology's business likewise. There's a lot of cross-selling can happen between these two companies. So Solids is 10 years in Wexford this year, something that we're quite proud of, that it's gone from strength to strength. As everybody knows, 70 or 80% of acquisitions fail, and this is one that's been very successful for us.
What do you put that success down to, Anne?
We put it down to the hard work of the management team and the sales, the workforce here. And it was hard work to integrate it into the company, but we've successfully done so. We've got a great team here, great workforce, and that's what made it a success here.
How many staff have Kent got in Wexford today?
We employ 100 people here today. Over a third of those would have a third level education, be it through colleges or universities or be it through craft training. We would have 15 in engineering and we would have 7 in sales. So grown quite steady. We took on a number of people last year, and so far this year we've taken on 4 people. So hopefully we'll continue to grow.
How long ago did Ken start exporting?
We started exporting in the mid-90s on a very small scale. That has grown significantly up to in excess of 60% last year. That's direct exports. We also would do another 15 to 20% of indirect exports where we're selling to companies in Ireland, multinational companies, but these products end up on the international markets. So they are exports, but indirect ones.
What countries is Kent exporting to?
We're exporting to the UK, Germany, Holland, Norway, South Africa. Last year we completed a very nice project in Central Africa, in Nairobi, in a pharmaceutical plant there. And our most recent has been to Qatar, a city called Lusail, which is a city that's been built to cater for the 2022 World Cup. Our sales and marketing director Shane Curtin and Michael Hurley went to Qatar this time last year to try and secure what we expected a 300,000 or 400,000 euro project, and they came back with a multi-million euro project and secured a cash deposit at the same time. We never expected this when they went out at first, albeit Shane Curtin will tell you he wholeheartedly expected it, but that's a sales guy for you. So, and that's gone from strength to strength. You know, we were up against companies from Germany, Italy and the United States to tendering for that project, and we won it on our technical capability, our technical backup, our flexibility and our quality.
That was a great achievement to secure that contract. The World Cup has been the market driver there in relation to Qatar. What other market drivers affect your business? Wherever
there is infrastructural spend is what affects our business. So, you know, it was the Olympics in the UK for the last number of years. That's where we target a lot of business. So wherever the next infrastructural or capital expenditure is going to be, whether that's they decide to do a clean water project in South Africa or they decide to build stadia in any part of the world, that's where our business will be, or wherever the next pharmaceutical hub will be. A lot of the pharmaceutical business is in Belgium at the moment, and that's where our drainage products are going at the moment, we're exporting to. So that's what we'll follow. We'll follow where the spend is going to be, where the growth is going to be and where the development is going to be and what's going to be the next developing countries.
From the perspective of your company having a presence on the ground in the international markets, what feedback is coming back from business owners and governments over there in relation to their thoughts on the Irish economy at the present time?
We need to build our confidence internationally. There's no doubt about that. The confidence in Ireland is not at its all-time high. It might not be at its all-time low, but it certainly needs to grow. Our experience would have been that when we first went to Qatar, our customer there was a little bit nervous about dealing with an Irish bank, and we had to reassure them that we were happy to deal with an Irish bank and that they needed to be also. But it did make us think about opening up an international bank at the time, and that's something that's still maybe a possibility for us. So the government need to instill the confidence, Irish confidence internationally.
Now, what was the main concern that particular company in Qatar had in relation to you dealing with an Irish bank?
Well, the main concern was the lack of confidence in the Irish economy at the time and in the Irish banking system at the time, and that there was no huge elaboration on it. They were nervous about it. They were going, this was a multi-million euro contract for us, and they needed to lodge a substantial amount of money into our bank as a deposit before they ever got a product from us, and they needed to know that money was going to be secure. So initially we set up a bank guarantee for them, and they were quite happy with that. We've since gone on to do our own guarantees with this customer, and they're happy that we do the guarantees and not the bank going forward, which is not great news for our bank, but it's very good news for us. It helps our cash flow and reduces our costs.
You've also been successful in relation to winning a lot of Lewis work under the Transport 20 initiative.
Yeah, absolutely. This was something we're very proud of. Initially, we tendered for the very first contract that came out, and we were horrified that we didn't get it. And we were twice as horrified that it went to a European company and not to a company in Ireland. And this is something that the government need to address. Contracts like this should most certainly stay in Ireland. We can sleep at night if we compete well and lose to an Irish company, but if we compete well and lose to a European company, it doesn't help us sleep at night. Ironically, we got our first contract under that Lewis was the refurbishment of the work that the European company done. So we don't want to rub salt into the wounds, but it opened the door for us, and is that what they call karma, Karl? And so we got that job of refurbishing the first part of the Lewis contract, and then we went on to continue to do a lot of the Lewis work after that. We were actually awarded the largest contract under that Transport 20 document by the government, and we're quite proud. So if you ever travel on the Lewis, anything you see in stainless steel is done by Kent Stainless in Wexford.
So what you're saying to me, Anne, is that you initially tendered for a contract to provide stainless products for the Lewis project. It was awarded to a non-Irish company, but you were contacted 18 months later to refurbish that work that had been done under that contract in the first place.
Yes, that's correct. It was a poor quality job that was done in the beginning.
What's the future for Kent Stainless looking like?
The future is looking like hard work. We're working very, very hard to export, to find the markets that we need to target. We're working very hard to stay in business. In the boom time, we would have been advised to narrow our range of products, to narrow our markets, to concentrate on our niche projects only and products only, and to concentrate on niche markets only. We ignored that advice. And we expanded our range of markets, and we expanded our range of products. And that's what's helped us get through this recession. So when one range is down, the other one is up. And we've got a lot to offer. That's what's taken us internationally, and we continue on that footing. Today we're building our R&D department the whole time. We'll continue to innovate, and we'll continue to re-engineer our products. And if we don't do that, you have to keep changing to stay the same, and that's what we're doing. We keep changing every day of the week. We keep changing just to stay the same. So the future is going to be export. So that's where our business is going to be. It's going to be still in the same markets we're in. It's going to be pharmaceutical. It's going to be infrastructural. It's going to be where capital expenditure is. It's going to be in the wastewater treatment, and it's going to be worldwide. And that's our plan.
And what do you do to identify the work overseas?
Well, we do a lot of market intelligence research. We subscribe to the Glenigan and the CIS reports and other reports like that give us the information as to where the capital expenditure is going to be worldwide.
And once you've identified where the capital expenditure is coming from, what's your next step?
Our next step is to make contacts with the consultants, the architects, the specifiers on those projects. And that's where our sales and marketing team come into it. They knock on the doors, they present Kent Stainless, they represent Kent Stainless, and they tell people what we have to offer. And, as I say, we've got a good reputation, and it opens doors for us.
What are the big challenges facing Kent today?
We're now into dealing with lots of different cultures, lots of different politics, and lots of different ways of doing business. So our challenge is facing and adapting to all of that every day of the week. That's where our challenge is. Our challenge is to keeping our skilled workforce here. A lot of people are emigrating at the moment, so a lot of skills are leaving the country. We've got to try and secure a good skill base here. As I said before, we have an excellent workforce here. People don't tend to leave us. The average age here is 35 and the average length of service is 17, 18 years. So we don't have a high turnover of staff, but we don't want it either. We want people to be secure working here in Kent. We want them to feel they have a future here, and we want them to be part of the growth of Kent Stainless.
I know that Enterprise Ireland's objective is to assist manufacturing companies to export. How supportive have they been of Kent Stainless?
Enterprise Ireland have been supportive of Kent Stainless. They need to change. They need to do some market intelligence research first. They need to tell us where is the next country we need to be going to. They have supported us in R&D projects, and they've supported us in trade shows, and all of which we needed their support and assistance in. But there's a lot more they can be doing, and there's a lot of offices in Enterprise Ireland worldwide. They do trade missions. We don't find the trade missions hugely beneficial to us because of the cost of them. You pay 1,500 or 2,000 to attend a trade mission to, say, Turkey. Well, we can get a flight for 200 quid and go to Turkey and knock on doors. So it's not necessarily suitable for us. Now, it works quite well for a lot of companies. I'm not knocking it. It's a good initiative and it's a good incentive. But I think Enterprise Ireland need to be focusing. We're in Qatar at the moment. Where should we be in 5 years' time? If Qatar's work stops in 1 year, 2 years or 3 years, where should we be next? Now our own sales and marketing team are looking at that, but that's where we need assistance from Enterprise Ireland.
Anne O'Brien, Managing Director of Kent Stainless, thank you for joining me this morning.
You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with thanks to Wexford Insurances. Wexford Insurances, #1 for business insurance in County Wexford.